And we're back. Hidden Hills OXCR round 7. Got a mediocre start. He's given a gift. In this corner, they all got bunched up. We're fourth going into the woods. Wyatt got the whole shot, and Wyatt had a good race. We're back on the Yz250. From my last video that I recorded, I wasn't really happy with the bike. All the power was at the bottom. Felt like I had to short shift it to stay in the power. Since then, we've done some changes. We have the Apex MX head on it. We got the Boysen reeds in it and a different silencer. I had the big FMF, had the spark arrestor in it, so we went with the power cord, just trying to open the bike up, and I'm very pleased with how it ran. There's a few changes I would do, but overall, I mean, the bike rips, and I'm happy with how it runs. It's a fun bike to ride, and it's a good option to race. I plan on switching from my 450 to my 250. I just change it up. I had a lot of fun on this bike. That being said, since I was able to ride this bike and get comfortable with it, the suspension is lacking. It's still stock valving. I've done my sag and messed with the clickers and stuff like that. It needs more rebound, so we'll make some tuning adjustments. But this is probably the longest I've rode this bike at race pace for a hare scramble. I couldn't keep the bike settled, so we'll do some suspension adjustments. But this winter, I plan on sending it to Pro Tune Corey, and he'll hook me up. He's got my 450 where it'll soak up anything, and I've gotten spoiled on that thing. It'll get fixed up. But this bike was a lot of fun to ride. So this track, the dirt was a little deceiving. It was hard packed and it was slick in some spots. Going back to my suspension, I got a lot of deflection. Couldn't keep the rear wheel settled. Kept bouncing around. I took 3 dirt samples because the rear wheel was trying to pass the front. So once I would get comfortable and start pushing, and then the bike would just come out from underneath of me. Lack of skill probably has something to do with that as well, but just feel like my 450 wouldn't have done that. chasing Chad, and at this point, Chad's still in third, I'm in fourth. I'm keeping tabs with Chad, so I feel pretty good where I'm at. Skylar gets around me. Skylar ended up winning the race. He ran really good. And then there's Kane. So now I got Skylar, Chad, and Kane in front of me. And those guys usually run up front. So I'm trying to throw a rope. If I can hang with these guys, it would put me in a good position to have a good finish. Those guys are killing it this year. You know, I haven't done this well this year, so that's why I've been going back and forth between bikes, trying to figure out this 250, just trying different stuff. I kept them in my sight for a while, and then we caught up to the class in front of us, and I wasn't able to get around them as good. I was kind of frustrated with I wasn't as aggressive as those guys was. But also, in the end, it really didn't matter, because I took those dirt samples, and you know, I completely lost those guys. I wasn't even nowhere near them at the end. I kind of fell into a groove, just tunnel vision, I guess. Just kind of follow the leader. Not really sure what I was doing. You know, they kind of gapped me there, and I lost sight of them. Right here, there looked like there was some confusion on the track went. Kane and Skyler. They technically caught back up to him, but due to an error. They end up pulling away anyway. Guy that just got around me, we ended up around each other for the whole race. It was pretty fun. I'd get around him and I would make a mistake. All 3 of those dirt samples was part of that. So it ended up being a pretty good battle. So far, I think we're 4th or 5th in points, not quite sure, but I've already missed 2. The last race I wasn't able to go to because of a scheduling conflict. But it looked like a muddy mess, so I'm not quite upset about missing that one. So the next 2 plan is to ride the 450, and then for Camp Cattail we'll bring out the Yz250 again. I think Cattail will be the perfect track for the 250. But overall, good day of racing. Happy with the bike. Extremely pleased with how it ran. And that is a lap at Hidden Hills. We'll see you guys at the next one.